Why England should use this system to win the World Cup in 2022. England under Southgate have got close to win major silverware, of course, losing on penalties to Italy in the Euros. But I think England should move to a 4-3-3 to get the players into a system to allow England to progress that next step. I think one of the biggest things England have got is the depth of fullbacks. At right back, England have got such depth. You're thinking Trippier, you're thinking Reece James, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think a 4-3-3 would allow you to play both Trent Alexander-Arnold and Reece James in the same 11. We're going with Reece James at right back to cover Trent Alexander-Arnold's defensive fragility, and we're putting Trent into a number 8 position for him to move inside and cross from that inside right channel, but also overlap Saka in those positions. I think number one, starting with the goalkeeper for England, I think Aaron Ramsdale's got to start in between the sticks. I think the other option could be Nick Pope, who of course has made the second most sweeping actions in Europe for Newcastle United. But I believe with what Ramsdale's done so far at Arsenal, not only is goalkeeping, but more importantly in possession, he's been absolutely outstanding, and his ability to have calmness on the ball and play forward is really, really good. And I like that in a goalkeeper, hence why Aaron Ramsdale would be in my England team in this 4-3-3 for England to win the World Cup. Moving into the defence, I mentioned Reece James before. I think he's one of the best right backs on the planet. I think having both him and Trent in the same 11 is a blessing in disguise. I think there could be interchange in positions with James coming in and Trent dropping to right back, and then Trent staying in that, move into that advanced area. This right-hand side triangle for me is where England could massively peak. You're talking 3 of the best right-side attackers in the world of football, in my opinion. Saka, Trent and James, all in the same 11. A lot of interchange and rotation within that triangle would allow England to really open teams up on their left-hand side, which is usually their flair player usually plays, left wing. If you think about the right-footed attackers in European football, usually you can isolate that area of the pitch and create either 3v2 on the central midfielder and the fullback, or alternatively a 2v1 on their fullback. I think that is definitely an area for England to operate on. The rest of the defence, going with Tomori, his former AC Milan, has been sensational. Of course, AC Milan won Serie A last season, and Tomori was a key part of that defence. They had one of the best defensive records in Italy, and I think Tomori not only balances a great physicality with his defending, but he's also very dominant on the football. And that's something that I think England need is that duality. Good defensively, good on the cover. Again, you're thinking that left-hand side of the pitch is going to be slightly more defensive than the right-hand side. You need definitely the top-quality defender to do that. Looking at Tomori's stats from Serie A last season, he won a whopping 65% of his total duels, won 76% of his ground duels and 71% of his aerial duels, dealing with a lot of threat going forward. Partnering John Stones in defence, of course, John Stones, the ball playing attributes of John Stones, absolutely fantastic, but also dealing with duels, sensational as well. And then Ben Chilwell at left back. Chilwell, of course, needs to find some form. If not Chilwell, of course, you could go with an inverted Kieran Trippier. Of course, Ben White could come in at centre back to replace John Stones. But for this sort of part, we'll use Ben Chilwell in that position to play a slightly inverted role. I think that will allow England to play forward. Of course, at number 6 is definitely going to be Declan Rice. He's head and shoulders above anyone else in the squad in that position. His ability to carry forward, drive England through, but also read and react to win the ball back. Sensational. He's going to be the holding midfielder. And I think that will allow someone like Jude Bellingham to move into the advanced areas. Jude Bellingham's an interesting player. He's played left midfield, right midfield, attacking midfield, central midfield. So getting him in this role of, as a free 8, you'll see him deep, you'll see him high, you'll see him on the last line, you'll see him wide left, wide right. A lot of fluidity within this setup and team. Chilwell should play slightly more inverted, which kind of makes me think, could you play someone like maybe even a Ben White there? We've seen Ben White play as a right-sided sort of third centre-back. Could he do a job on the left? Maybe not, but maybe you could. Alternatively, we could have Trippier playing that inverted role, sitting deep and allowing the rest of the players to attack. I think having Trent in his creativity in midfield, created over 3 chances over his course of his spell for Liverpool, will allow him to distribute the ball not only into the feet of Kane, but balls sort of over the top for Kane or cross from that deep area. I think in this position, Trent showed a lot of quality in recent years in this inside position, especially last season in the Premier League. And I think allowing him to be an attacker and kind of neglect that defensive responsibility could allow to get an even better, attacker in that zone. The big thing with Trent is he's very good in the press. He wins the ball back through pressures around 34% of the time at Liverpool, which is a very good number, meaning that he's pressing the ball instead of having balls dropped over behind him. I think that's going to be a lot better for Trent Alexander-Arnold, bring that creativity. We mentioned Saka's dribbling and his ability to cut in and isolate a defender 1v1 and either go to the byline and cut the ball back or cut in and get shots away is a massive asset for England. You need those types of players. I think Sterling's form for England's been very good in recent years, so he's going to be starting as the left attacker, and of course Harry Kane through the middle dropping off. I think there is iterations of this in a sense of, against different teams, throwing in Jack Grealish, throwing in Marcus Rashford, having Jadon Sancho maybe in the squad if he's in around there, or Phil Foden could be a really good option to in there, or even going with Phil Foden as a central midfielder, and maybe in that sort of right side of midfield position, having Declan Rice, Foden, Bellingham as the midfield three could be a really good option. Be a great blend of attacking and defensive side. But that's my England team. Again, you've got the 4-3-3, which should make use of England's problem at right back. You play two of them, one in central midfield, one at right back. I think you've got safety in numbers in terms of, Declan Rice is defensive midfield position, Kieran Trippier or Chilwell playing as a kind of more support fullback in there. And it allows you to have three forwards. I think that suits England a lot more than an attacking midfielder. And also you've got that versatility. Different players could solve different problems within this team to create for Harry Kane and score goals for Harry Kane. I think that's kind of the level. That's how I think England should play ahead of the World Cup. I think that would be a system that you could build for a number of years now. 2-3-8s, very much Pep Guardiola Man City with two right backs in one team. That's how I'm going to sell it to you guys. So they're the tactics that Gareth Southgate has to play for England to win the World Cup. Get in the comments below what system you think Gareth should play and who should be the key player. And Trent in midfield, what do you reckon? Let me know. Subscribe if you're new. See you later.